And so just as a forewarning, if you guys have seen our trailers, this shouldn't really be spoilers. However, we can't guarantee that some interactions might not be spoiled.
So if you really want to go into the game raw, maybe this isn't for you. But if you want to see some of the new environments and gameplay features, stay tuned. We'll get right into it.
And let's go.
All right, let's go.
Where am I? Oh, right. This must be Emma's hometown. Altina. Guess I've kept her pretty worried all this time. She must have fallen asleep watching over me.
Instructor Rain?
Oh, morning, everyone. Sorry, looks like I overslept a bit. And we have so much to talk about, too.
Thank goodness! I was almost afraid you'd never wake up!
You guys.
She's not the only one. We've all been ill at ease. Even after we managed to escape. The moment we made it to Erin, you were out for nearly an entire day.
We've all been taking turns waiting ever faithfully by your bedside, old and new Class 7 alike. And I, for one, relish the opportunity to gaze longingly at your sweet sleeping face, like a vision into my future.
Really, Muse? I mean, really?
Floozy's gonna flooze. Anyway, stop coddling him already. The guy's a grown-ass man.
So you say, but you were just as eager as the rest of us to stand watch.
Oh yeah! I thought for sure you'd just ditch, going on and on about how much you don't care.
Oh, it was just so sweet. He sat right by your side, the very picture of concern.
Like hell I did! Quit making shit up, you damn snitches!
It's good to have you back with us, Ash. I wasn't sure if you were okay, let alone if I'd ever see you again. Class 7 just wouldn't be the same without you.
Well, what can I say? Shit happens. Besides, I wasn't the one chained up in a workshop. Compared to you, I've had it easy.
I suppose so. And Muse, I know this puts you in a difficult spot, but either way, thank you for coming back. You still have your own moves to play. I understand that. But for now, I'm glad you've decided to be here with us.
As am I. Though frankly, even I'm not quite sure how it happened. I suppose I have no choice but to stay right at your side until I find out.
Glad to hear it.
Ugh, there she goes again.
But it wouldn't be the same without her.
As for you two, Yuna, Kurt, it seems you spared no effort coming to my aid. I can't thank you enough for that.
Oh,
Instructor.
well, I mean, we kinda owed you, you know? You've come to our rescue plenty of times. It's only right we return the favor.
If there's one thing you've taught us, it's to think and act for ourselves. Having the opportunity to put those lessons into practice was an experience unlike any other. But even then, we owed the bulk of our success to the old Class 7, and everyone else who had our backs.
Still, thank you all the same.
Allie?
Rise and shine, Sleepy Bunny.
Why is everyone here? Oh.
Good morning, Altina. I can only imagine all the struggles and doubts you must have gone through. But you never stopped moving forward with everyone else. I'm proud of you. It's good to be back.
Instructor Rain! I...
All right. Seems we're all forgetting the most important part.
Maybe it's a little unfair of us to steal the first chance, but nevertheless, shall we?
Welcome back, Instructor Reen.
All right, that was the first little part we didn't feel like spoiling by talking over it. We wanted to give you guys that little welcome back moment for you and the new Class 7. We're going to pretty much be talking over the rest of this, though. So we're getting a little bit of an overview of Erin Village, where Reen is now. I should say this takes place, it's still early into the game, but it's not the first chapter. It's been pretty developed. And we're starting just at the point where Reen is reunited with Class 7 New and Old.
Reunited.
He's reunited, yes. Laura said that first, by the way.
Uh-huh, and I won't stop saying
Yeah,
it.
that's on your hands.
Am I making you angry?
No. Oh, boy.
We've only just started, let's
Strap
go.
in, folks, here we go. Okay, we have Reen coming in his brand new duds.
Oh yeah, looking sharp.
You'll see Class 7, new Class 7 has some new clothes themselves, but this is going to be Reen's new signature outfit.
You know what I just realized?
What's that?
Trails Cold Steel 3, it's dark hair, white outfit.
Oh!
And now he's black outfit, white hair.
Yeah.
I just noticed that right now.
It's called reinventing yourself.
Reinventing?
You beat me to it! I was right there.
Oh, you're too slow.
I was right there. So, Emma and her magical crew of badass witches made this new coat and pant combo for Reen with magical runes inscribed into it, just to help him control his the demon inside of him. And here we have his first reunion with all of his Class 7 comrades, new and old. And they're all like, yeah, badass outfit. Although Micaiah's like, it's kind of too much.
I mean, that's just him, though.
Yeah, of course.
Who are you most excited to see back?
That's tough. Gosh, I don't know. You know what, Ash. I'm really excited to see.
And his new coat.
And his new coat. He looks really cool. And I'm really interested in seeing his storyline develop. But I'm also really interested in it's definitely Ash. I'm not like old Class 7. They're here for support. I want to see the new kids on the block.
Kids, they've grown up past their uniforms.
Yes, yeah. No more school uniforms. They're in their street clothes now.
There's quite a bit of characters too that we have.
Oh yeah.
Not even all of them. So
this is very early in the great game, and we have like 3 games worth of characters on the screen at once.
Yes.
So it can be a little overwhelming.
A small army of characters.
It's a veritable army, yeah.
They all have
of
to
super
talk
soldiers.
To.
They're all incredibly powerful. So they're having kind of a serious chat with Reen and the rest of Class 7. They're kind of collecting all the information they've accrued so far. Basically, they're saying that there's all these mystical structures scattered around Erebonia, and they have some sort of relevance to the curse Reen's under. So they want to investigate.
I see.
Yes, it's a little complicated. At this point, basically, you don't need to know too much about their goals right now. We're still in a very early part of the game, so a lot of it is just going to be reconnecting with Class 7 and doing some discovery and exploration around Erebonia. So they're saying Bryona Island, which is, if you played some of the earlier games, is a location old Class 7 visited in one of their missions, basically. So they're saying there's this creepy place over there. Why don't we go check that out?
Love the shot of both.
Yes,
down the
course.
table.
You need
old
2
Class
shots.
7. Yeah, there's
to
so
get
many
all
characters.
Of them, you need 2 shots.
And they all kind of more or less are sitting on their own side of the table here, so you get the direct comparison.
Yeah,
of the old and the new, except for
Sarah.
She's just kind of there.
Just like, I guess there's that awkward moment of like, oh, there's not enough seats on that side.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll sit on that side. Should I stand? No, I'll sit. So they're all saying that Reen has this curse over him, and it makes him dangerous, and he's concerned about hurting his friends and his classmates. However, they're not letting him bring any of that out. They're all saying, we're with you. No matter what happens, we're always going to be with you. Even if you go full Demon Nutso mode,
Yeah.
we'll still love you.
We'll make sure you
We'll
don't do that.
beat you hard.
Oh,
we
no.
will destroy you.
But we'll still love you.
We'll still,
Yeah.
with love, of
Yes.
course.
Love,
It's
it's
for your
tough
own good.
love.
Very tough love.
Nice to see the close-ups on everyone, too.
Yeah, of course. You need it.
Thank you, everyone. With you, I know I can...
Welcome.
No,
Yeah.
Anytime.
we're all going to push our way forward. Together.
Yeah. The power of friendship
The power of friendship compels you. All of you.
compels all. You have to follow my orders. All right, and we're going to jump right into it.
Let's see what we can do here. So since we have all these characters, I'm assuming we get to bond with people?
Oh yeah, throughout the game you're going to be, there's a lot of bonding events with Class 7, people not in Class 7 who you've, who've been in earlier games. As we go around the town, we're going to introduce a lot of characters. Pretty much any major character, or even minor character, is going to come back and appear in Trails of Cold Steel 4. So if you're fond of a certain character, if you want to bond with characters you either like or you just think they're really useful in combat, you're gonna have plenty of opportunities to do that.
Who would you bond with? Trails 4. Trails Cold Steel 4.
You have to keep it to the main characters. You have to be.
Are you talking new Class 7 or old Class 7
well,
here?
I'm thinking Sarah, Aurelia, Emma. The essentials.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the basics.
Of course. First them, and then you get, with the, all of the other characters whose names I don't remember.
There's names that aren't as important as everyone else.
So before we go around, just to explain what this little bit of the game is Reen's just been rescued, and he wants to go around and thank everybody in Aaron Village. If we look at the map here, we're in the Rose's Atelier, which is a fancy word for house, apparently. And what Reen's doing is just going around and thanking everybody for saving him. So here is the quartet, I guess you would call them, of witches. Vita, Emma, Rose, and Celine.
You a big Celine fan?
I'm not as big a Celine fan as others, but she definitely has her audience. Oh, and if you are a Celine fan, there's a lot of content in this game for you. Celine gets a lot of character development, let's say, and if you're interested in her backstory or how she affects the plot, there's a lot of she has a lot of influence over what happens in this game in particular. Green's back and he's just like, "Wow, you're so flaky," and he's like, I
What are you talking about?
I was in a dungeon.
I was plot point. They gotta rip him a little bit, though.
Yeah. It was kind of a demure room for a bunch of witches,
You think they'd be in like a fancy, intricate Victorian style
Yeah,
kind of thing?
or just like other end of the spectrum have like a cauldron and.
They're gonna say a cult for some reason.
Well, maybe.
I mean, it's
Listen,
debatable.
they have their fans. I don't know, like a newt's eye somewhere.
Yeah. It's like dry ice everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
They already got the cat, though. They just need the broom.
Yeah, but that's just a regular broom. It's not for sweeping.
It's not for sweeping?
I mean, it is for sweeping. It's not for flying, I meant.
Ah.
So you'll notice here that Rose is one of the NPCs you can play Vantage Masters. Vantage Masters is a in-game mini-game that's returning from the previous Trails games, and it's a TCG that you play your opponents in turn-based, card-based battles. You're going to be collecting cards as you explore Erebonia, but the real way to get the best cards is by defeating NPCs who play Vantage Master. So if we were to play Vantage Master against Rosalie here, we could just totally school her and take the best card that she has to wager. Now, if you lose, you basically lose some Sepith or some money. But if you prevail against her, you get her best card. It helps to strengthen your deck. We're not going to play Vantage Masters right
I
now.
like that you claim that you would totally school her, but it's
Listen.
like, oh, by the way, we aren't going to show you it because, you know.
You just have to take my word for it. I would totally beat her, though, I swear.
A small child, you could
Yeah,
definitely.
just like the big playground bully, I would take that 1,000-year-old girl's
lunch money in
lunch
form of
money
cards.
and favorite card, her best card. Mine now. But we're not going to show that right now. We're going to go and talk to some of our other Class 7 members, new and old. Also, if you want, you can explore as Yuna,
Yes. Now.
Hussein, Altina,
Or Bane.
or Vectorin.
Sorry,
Who's ever
Ash.
in your party at the time.
I'm assuming that 5th member is probably
Yeah.
not switchable.
I think you could switch them right now. Let's see.
Well, you can switch them in, but you can't
Yeah.
switch them while you're walking. You have to actually put them into the party.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
It's my turn.
I got this.
There we
My
go.
turn.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So, this is Aaron Village. It's kind of like a nice little hamlet located, a secret location in Erebonia, actually. Location isn't known to a lot of people. But if we look at the map here, it's just one of the locations you're going to be visiting, one of the towns and cities you'll kind of use as your hub of the many across Erebonia. So this one happens to be pretty small. All of the important points are located in a pretty centralized area. But as you go through the game, you're going to enter some pretty big sprawling cities. So not everything will be as contained as you see here. However, we have alchemists, we have an inn, we have a general goods store, we have a hot spring for some hot spring events that we'll show you a little later.
Hot spring events.
Yeah, you know, that's the most important story information happens there. We have the Orbal factory and an herbalist as well. So we'll go ahead and give you a little tour as we're saying our thank yous to some of Class 7. I think if we go over here, in the Luke's Lune Inn. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Luke's Lune.
I mean, I would have said Lux, but I don't want to insert my opinion on how to say things here.
It's either Lux or Luke's, or something completely different. But it's a pretty standard inn. We have our teammates over here. And if we talk to the innkeeper over there, we could rest to fully refill our HP, CP, and EP. We could buy items off her or sell items, even get quest information.
Okay.
But for right now, we're just going to say hi to some of our friends over here.
And who are these friends from?
These friends are from the Crossbell series. So you'll notice it's Randy, it's Agate, it's Kia, and Ren. If you played Trails of Cold Steel 3, you'll recognize Randy, who's one of your fellow instructors. But, Agate was there as well as a bracer. But Reen and Kia were exclusively from the Crossbell series. So if you played those, part of the canon of the Trails series, this is their first entry into the Trails.
Cold Steel.
Yeah, of Cold Steel.
There's a lot of Trails games.
Yes,
This is the Cold Steel one.
But they were pretty instrumental in rescuing Reen from his situation, so they're here to assist him. As you progress through the game, they're going to join your party, and they have actually some really interesting. Some of my favorite party members.
You'll have to play the game
Yes,
to find
you'll have
out,
to play
too.
the game to find those moves out. Exactly what they are. And that's Kia. Got a thick stack of pancakes.
Those are thick pancakes.
I really.
Also,
just-
her mug is unusually large.
That is a large mug, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's like, it fit the pancakes in there.
Maybe that's what they're for. Maybe they cook the pancakes in the mug, push them out, and no, that's a dumb idea.
What pancakes are you eating?
Mug pancakes. Good old-fashioned mug. You know, you put the
I mean,
batter
there's
in.
mug cakes, but the whole point is that they're in a pan.
Oh yeah, that's true. What if you're? You know what? I'm just gonna drop it there.
Yeah, you know what? It's anime food, and I like looking at it. That's all I can say.
I kind of like Ren's sandwiches.
Yeah, it's like one of those. I've seen pictures
the
of
crustless
the
sandwich.
crustless,
Yeah.
thick bread
Yeah.
sandwich. Oh. I mean, their salad looks really tasty
You could just
too.
turn it on its side and you see there's all that juice inside. That's an enormous salad too.
They're sharing.
I mean,
community
yeah,
salad.
I guess so. Randy and Agate are really hungry.
They ordered a salad.
Yeah, well, you know, you gotta watch your figure.
You want Reen to bond with you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Gotta stay on the up and up. Speaking of figure, we have some of the most developed characters of the Trail series.
Was that a...
What? No, their characters.
Oh, plot.
And,
I'm talking about the developed plot.
Their character arcs are very developed.
Yes.
We have General Aurelia here, who was she was a antagonist, actually, in some of the earlier Trails game. She returned in 3 to be the principal of the school, and is returning 4 as a general of the Erebonian army and as a ally to Rean. Here is Sarah, Fee, and Laura is on the other side of the table as well, and they're making returns as bracers. Sarah and Tia were actually very popular bracer characters from the earlier games, and they're part of Class 7 as well. So they're pretty much mainstays of the series. Laura was a kind of a martial arts master in the last game, and she was pretty integral to the plot as well as being a previous Class 7. And they're having a discussion about the joys of alcoholic beverages.
With the new Class 7 here.
Yeah.
You know, how old are you?
Yeah, seriously. And then Ash is schooling them.
Oh boy, he's schooling the children on
Oh,
alcoholic taste. Thanks,
the
Ash.
high school sophomore is really ripping on the freshmen.
Oh boy, they're all in the same class.
Yeah, well, I don't
Ash,
know.
what are you doing?
Ash just seems older.
He seems taller.
Well, how do you how do you determine somebody's age? I just go by height.
Make up a number.
Well, that works too. They can't get offended.
I mean, they can, but...
Well, well, that's true. If we look over here, we can talk to our other friend.
I'm excited for this.
Oh, over here as well, fishing
Look at all
returns
those
to the
fish.
game in Trails of Cold Steel 4. So the ones here in town are pretty small fish, but as you progress, you go through the continent, you'll find a lot of different fishing spots. And as you fish, you'll get better at it. It'll become easier, and catching bigger fish will become less of a task, really. So if you like the fishing game in Trails of Cold Steel 3, it's going to return in 4. We are going to go over to near the hot spring.
Just near, not into it.
No. Just to reconnect with some of our other friends over here.
Some steamy friends.
They're really steamy.
They just went in there with their clothes, apparently.
Yeah. No, that's how steamy it was.
Full
They
steam
just
ahead.
Permeate steam.
Oh boy, they're just steamy boys.
Just completely steamy boys.
What are steamy boys talking about?
Like Matthias is just saying, like, oh, my day job, you know.
My bureaucracy.
My bureaucracy, you know, it's tough.
Pushing papers.
Yeah.
Shooting guns.
And Juices is just saying, like, oh, come on, it's not that bad. He's like, aren't you a prince? What is your job to do? And they're basically saying, Reen, we're so tight. Don't try to thank us for this. You know, we wouldn't have done anything.
You could come to our hot springs any day.
Anytime. This is Loki, who is one of Rose's familiar. I think if we can't hear the game, but if you hear him, he makes a really. But he's Rose's familiar, and he's a cat bat.
I like that. Cat bat.
You like that? The cat
I like
bat?
that. The cat bat.
Somebody mix that. Somebody cut that and make it into a song.
Don't.
So over here is the hot springs. It's one of the bonding events you can do with who's ever at your party at the time. We're not going to show it now just for time reasons, but after a mission or some significant plot development, try to stop by the hot springs to reconnect with your class. Take a nice hot bath together. Tell each other how you feel on the nice hot bath.
Bathe with your friends.
Bathe
Bond with
your
them.
friends.
Communal
And peers.
Oh boy. Anyone you want to get close
Yeah.
to, apparently. Helps you in battle.
It does. It makes you stronger.
Yes, bathing with your friends makes you stronger.
Of course, why wouldn't it?
There's no shame here.
Not in the hidden village.
What happens in the hidden village stays in the hidden village.
Stays in the hidden village. So after we've said our goodbyes to everybody, who's worthy of them? Whoever
we skipped
deem,
a few, but
we might have, but you know,
we got who we needed.
We got a schedule to maintain here, right? Reen's a busy guy. We're gonna say goodbye. We're gonna go our separate ways, even if for just a moment. Eventually, we'll all reconnect, but they have their own things that they need to handle now that Reen's safe. So we have basically the crossbell characters for the most part. going on a mission themselves, and the Class 7, new and old, are going to Brianna Island. And we're having some side characters like Aurelia and Emma off looking for some more information for themselves. And Yosette is the pilot of the I forgot the name of the other ship. He'll be the pilot of the... That's not the Merkaba.
The not Merkaba.
The not Merkaba, as it's known. And here we have a magical portal being opened by, I believe, Emma.
And that's how they get out of the village. Otherwise,
and that's how they get out of the village.
That's why the village is hidden.
Exactly.
Got to use portals to get in and out, apparently.
That's Magic 101.
Of course.
Alright, and we're off. After we say goodbye to the villagers, of course.
Yes, we have to say goodbye to everyone at the village first.
And we can come back to the hidden village we can't access without magic anytime.
Green, I hope you learned some magic.
I hope you learned some magic, Green. The bad place to forget your sunglasses at.
Oh boy.
And away we go. So what we just entered is actually the Merkaba. We'll go into it a little bit later. Actually, we'll go into it in just a bit because that's where we're going to be. But it acts as kind of how the train did in Trails of Cold Steel 3. It's going to be a place where you can reconnect and relax with a lot of your students. Basically, it's another bonding opportunity for your immediate party in between missions.
The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel 4.
And I think that's going to end our showcase.
Yeah, that'll be it for our Trails of Cold Steel 4 part of the showcase. Stay tuned. Got more coming up next. See you guys there.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Welcome back to our NIS America Spotlight of Fallen Legion Revenants. We have a very special guest joining us today. I'd like to throw over our introductions to him.
Hi, everyone. I'm Spencer. I'm the director, producer, programmer, and sometimes VFX artist on Fallen Legion Revenants.
And we are very happy to have you here today. I am Laura. We are still joined with Trevor. He is currently... doesn't have the camera on him, but
folks.
Trust me, he is there. He will be playing the game for us. So let's get right into it. So here we are jumping into our first look of Fallen Legion Revenants. Spencer, why don't you tell us a little bit about the background of what's kind of happening in this game?
Yeah, so right now you're playing as Rowena. And she's a spirit who's fighting to come back to life to raise her son. And she's working together with Lucian, this charismatic politician who lives in a flying castle that's protected from the miasma that's covered the ground. And Ivor, who's this prison warden, is the one who's in charge of this castle. And together, these two characters are going to fight to take down Ivor and liberate Welkin.
So there's some pretty cool graphical designs going on in the background there. What's exactly happening with this world?
This stage actually, this is the first stage of the game, but it actually takes place at the very end of the game. And something is happening in the world that I actually was the one who programmed this like dissolve effect where the world's like fading in and out. And we have a lot of cool new graphical effects now compared to Fallen Legion Rise to Glory. We're using dynamic lighting. Our sprite sizes are bigger and more detailed. Like our artists did like a wonderful job, enhancing the level of detail we're able to put into our games.
So since this is also a sequel in the Fallen Legion series to Rise to Glory, do you have to play the original Rise to Glory before you play this one?
No, you don't. Like Fallen Legion Rise to Glory takes place 1,000 years in the past compared to where Rowena and Lucian's story is.
Nice. So I know we mentioned Lucian. We will see him in a little bit. But going back to our kind of our team here, who do we have with Rowena?
She has 3 of the exemplars, these weapons that come to life as living soldiers. And Zulfikar is there. He returns from Fallen Legion Rise to Glory, along with new exemplars Alistair and Jacqueline.
All right, looks like we just swapped over to Lucian, which we will talk more about swapping a little bit later. But who do we have here?
This is Ivor. He's the big bad of the game. He's this cruel tyrant that runs Welkin with an iron fist.
All right, let's take a little peek into their interaction here.
I've been a prison warden for what feels like an eternity. I've crushed riots, foiled breakout attempts, and sent all those who opposed me to the gallows. After a while, my prisoners didn't even try to rebel. They saw the futility. They heard the stories about me. Didn't you hear the stories, Lucian? You must have. You talk to everyone.
Oh, I heard them, Ivor. It was difficult to ascertain which ones were real and which were bedtime stories. Nightmare folk legends meant to scare children into good behavior.
Look into my eyes as I say this to you. Every story you heard about me is true, you arrogant prick. When I'm done with you, Counselor Lucian, the master manipulator, will no longer exist. Your cherished wit, your gift for conversation and cunning, I will steal every part of you that's worthwhile. I will lock you away in a prison of the mind. I'll leave you a drooling invalid in constant pain. And I will kill every person still alive in this rotting world you care about. Yes, especially her.
This is precisely why you failed as a statesman, Ivor. Your demeanor suited you well as a chief monster in a zoo for monsters. But even with your sorcery, you were unable to mask your cruelty. You are every bit as monstrous as the wretched beasts that live outside these walls.
You'll beg me for mercy soon enough. I've tortured every rebel and crushed every rebellion. You will not succeed.
What is that old saying? There's a time for everything.
So we got a little bit of a taste of our big bad there, and he does seem quite evil. Oh boy, torturing a bunch of people. I wouldn't want to mess with that, right? Oh wow, you got a spectacular, Trevor.
Yeah, you know.
Nice job, Trevor.
Game like me. Not an expert.
I thought that was going somewhere else.
No, Trevor, you're doing great. Thanks for playing the game for us to show everyone Fallen Legion Revenants.
Yes, thank you for putting up with us, Trevor, and being able to run through the game most expertly, even if you say otherwise. So let's move on to our next section. We'll be right back in a second here. We are in our new area here. Would you like to give us a little bit of a background on where we are?
That's right.
Yeah, so Rowena here, she's trying to track down this list of spies that are inside Welkin. So since Lucian's in the Flying Castle and he's been trapped there for years, he actually can't go down to the ground world. But since Rowena is a spirit, she can travel between Welkin and to the ground. So if she brings back this list, Lucian might be able to find some allies he can convince to join him in his quest to dethrone Ivor.
So you're encountering a few enemies here, quite disturbing looking ones actually. What inspiration were you drawing when coming up with a lot of these models?
You know, whether we're making an exemplar or a monster, the first thing we think about is what's the character's function in the game? Are they a melee unit, a range unit, are they fast, are they slow? After that, we talk about, as a team, we talk about what way we can draw them into the world. And a lot of the game was inspired by the Victorian era, so we went back to look at different clothes and costumes from that time period. You'll see enemies that are dressed in Victorian era police uniforms, and you'll also see this other monster that carries gravestones, who was once like a grave digger before he was mutated by the miasma.
And we saw some monsters there with pitchforks, so say they're kind of like farmers in this world, or war farmers.
Yeah, maybe former farmers. There are people that are scarred by the miasma.
Definitely scarred. You can kind of see that all over their body. It's so disturbing. So, speaking of monsters again, are there any particular monsters that players should look forward to meeting?
There's this one monster that actually went backwards in design where it was drawn first. Rhea, who's our monster master, she drew this flying tongue monster, and it was just so creepy and so cool. We're like, this has to be in the game somehow, so we went back to design an AI parent around that character. I think originally it was supposed to be one of these hunter monsters here before it became its own monster design.
So just to like set the picture in my mind here, and anyone else watching, is this like literally just a tongue with wings, or?
Okay, so it's kind of like it has a body, it has wings on the back, it has a giant tongue, it also has a pistol.
What? It's got a pistol too.
Yeah, like I was saying, it originally was going to be like one of like the hunter type characters. I hope we get a chance to show it to people soon. You'll see it like probably like mid game for the first time.
I'm still trying to figure out how it's holding the pistol. Anyways, is there any other monsters? Maybe something a little cuter we could look forward to?
We have the Pumpkin, who you'll see in the exemplary edition. Pumpkin's kind of this cute little pumpkin character, and you'll see him not just as an enemy, but he also guards treasure chests in the game. And when you open a treasure chest, like when you'll wake him up, and if you're lucky, you'll get a buff. But if you're unlucky, he'll give you a debuff, so it's kind of like trick or treat. And Pumpkin also cosplays as different enemies from Fallen Legion, Rise to Glory. You see him dressed up in his little dragon hoodie, and he also dresses up as a Manticore, another one of the bosses from Rise to Glory. Oh, and there's the giant whale at the end of this level too.
Anything we can reveal about the giant whale? We're gonna keep that one a secret.
I think we saw a little bit in the trailer, so it's literally like Rhea had this idea to make a majestic monster, like as a really big boss monster, something that you wouldn't see flying. So she came with the idea of using a whale, and then the whale opens its mouth and has this giant laser cannon and blasts all the exemplars with it.
I'm starting to sense a trend here with Rhea designing things that shouldn't be flying, like tongues and whales. Oh, right. Speaking of trick-or-treat that you mentioned with the Pumpkin, this world seems very Halloween-like. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the level design and maybe how the colors play into it.
Yeah, Leon, who designed our art director, designed the exemplars and the backgrounds, like, when he had the idea to have all the different backgrounds have like a different color palette. So when we're traveling through, the world of Fallen Legion Revenants, we'll see lots of different areas. You'll see mountains, you'll see forest, let's say withered forest. This is a plague ruined world, and you'll see towns, you'll see temples, you'll see a snow area too, like far in the north.
Do you have a specific area that's your favorite?
Oh man, yes.
If it's a secret, we don't have to tell people.
There's one area that we worked on that's kind of like this nighttime area where there are like fireflies flying around that I think was really fun to make.
Nice, something for some people to look forward to. I'd love to see the rest of these levels. I know we're only going to see a few of them here, but definitely pick up the game if you guys want to see more of the levels. So I think we're actually coming up to a specific person here, if you want to give us a little bit of lead into who this is.
Yeah, so this is the rebel leader that we were talking about earlier that, Rowena is going to battle soon to procure the list for Lucian. The new May are like a group of that's against Ivor, and some of the people from New May are actually living inside Welkin. So if Rowena can bring this list back, Lucian will know who to talk to, and maybe convince some of those people to join forces with him, so he can rise in clout and convince other people to stand up against Ivor.
Nice. We see she's kind of being a little bit afflicted by the miasma around here too, huh?
Yeah, she is, and she's the first real boss in the game that you'll see, and she has this magical shotgun that you'll want to defend yourself against. And one of the key mechanics, just like Rise to Glory, is our parry system. So if you parry at the right time, you'll reflect her bullets back, and that's a really good strategy to defeat her.
Nice. So with the team that we have here now that Trevor picked for us, do you think he stands up to this old woman, or should he have picked different people?
I think Trevor's going to do great. I mean, Zulfikar's a really good choice for defense. Like, his rushing sentry death blow allows him to dash forward and parry while he's attacking. All the characters can block, and blocking is a key mechanic in the game.
Hear that, Trevor? Try to block.
I'll try my best.
I know you can do it.
I'll try to block the shotgun.
or more specifically, block the bullets from the shotgun. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just like that.
So we do have a couple new things that we didn't see with the original, like lower tier enemies. Do you want to talk a little bit about that meter that we see constantly increasing?
Yeah, that means the break meter. When you attack enemies, you're also going to break damage, and then just like that. Like when their break meter empties out, they'll be in break state, and you have a couple seconds to attack them with unlimited AP. And also, like when they're in break state, enemies take more damage. So it's like that's like the time you really want to use your most powerful attacks. And when you reflect your projectiles back, you're going to inflict more BP damage to them.
Yeah, you shot that old woman. All right, you did it.
Wow, Trevor.
This list is in good hands.
All right, so now that we've finished it, I assume she's gonna get what she wanted.
You're honorable. An inspiration.
Yeah, she's gonna get the list, and then she'll go back to Lucian, and then they'll discuss their next steps in their plan to overthrow Ivor.
I know who I'm fighting.
Oh, and there she goes.
I bet you'll see things differently in death. When I was alive.
All right, so I believe that's also
all
the
I
end of this
cared about
current
was
level.
myself.
So we'll be seeing
There was a
another
target on my back.
judgment on
But
Trevor
I
and
was
how he
too
did.
arrogant to think anyone could touch me. I was a bird
I hope
of
you could
prey
stand up
soaring
to
through
that
the clouds
spectacular, was it, last
until an
time?
arrow
Yeah.
from the ground pierced my wing.
I don't know. That old lady was pretty
And I
tough.
cried.
I don't know if I can.
Now my
performance
son
will
is
stand
locked
up
away in a
compared
castle
against
in the
her.
sky.
You had some good.
Were
You had
three
some,
of the most
I've forgotten
strongest
how to
characters.
cry. All I can do now is
you had
fight
some
to get
really
him
good
back.
blocks, Trevor. Like that's why you're able
Exemplars,
to break her so
please follow
fast
me.
because you're reflecting the projectiles
going to
back
welcome.
at her.
You got that super move off too.
My heart
Right, let's see what you got.
I'm nervous.
Oh, so just as a reference for how well Trevor did here, where's cool on the scale of judgment here?
Well, we have in S, A, B, C, D ranking. I guess this would be a C ranking. And if you get a better ranking, you can get more items to enhance your characters. So
It looks like you're not getting any better items right
That
now.
old lady was really tough, guys. Okay, she gave me a
First
run
boss.
for the money.
Anyways, let's move on to our next section before we delve any more into what could have been done. We'll be right back with the next stuff. Alright, so we've just entered into a new area, kind of a decrepit little town. Spencer, where are we?
we're in the village of Luxingham, and Rowena is trying to find Catherine, who's been supplying Welkin with food and other provisions. So Rowena is here to see if she can get information about where Catherine's whereabouts are.
Alright, so I do believe we are going to be up to an E here. Could you tell us a little bit about who it is we're meeting?
Yeah, we're going to meet Carla. She's from Luxam Meadows, which is kind of the more wealthy part of the town. And later on, we'll meet people from Luxam Blights, which is kind of the more destitute area. And Rowena has some supplies in her possession. And then the player, after meeting these characters, are going to decide, should Rowena bring the supplies to the Meadows or to the Blights?
So with these decisions that players will be making between Rowena and Cian, how does that change the game's narrative and paths?
It changes the game a lot. Like, as Lucian, you'll be making decisions to see who's going to become your ally or possibly your enemy inside Welkin, and some of the decisions you make might even change like who survives through the game. And these decisions you make will change what levels you see, what story branches you have, and even what exemplars you might obtain.
So it's kind of like a permadeath for NPC characters. They're gone. Oops.
Hopefully it won't be an oops. Hopefully it'll be a deliberate choice.
We deliberately chose for them not to live.
But yeah, there's permadeath for NPCs in Fallen Legion Revenants, depending on what you do.
Yeah.
Not all characters may make it to the end.
Be careful with your decisions, guys. You may regret them, may not. I don't want to tell you how to live. All right, so we do have a new character from the last section that we've been. Maybe not a new character to the games, but who do we have here?
Oh yeah, we brought Dardanelles this time. So Dardanelles returns from Fallen Legion Rise to Glory. She has fire attacks now, and she is a really strong long-range character who carries like a big cannon. Some of her abilities involve like bringing enemies from like the rear to the front. So if you use a cannon, like Burning Rave, yeah, just like Trevor did right now. When you use that, you actually bring enemies in the front. So if you combo now with Self-Car's Lightning Death Blow, you can hit both the ghost and the pig. They're standing in the middle of tiles.
So this pig here, I love the design of it. It's so round and so diseased. What kind of like attacks does this pig do to you?
Yeah, this pig spits toxic sludge and also casts debuffs on the ground you stand on. So if you're when you move different tiles, like Trevor just moved into one of the tiles where there's a debuff so now that debuff affects your character. But if you move to a different tile, you won't have that debuff anymore. So buffs and debuffs are on the ground, and it's kind of like an evolution of the combo bar system we had in Fallen Legion Rise to Glory, where buffs were on your combo bar. Now everything's on the ground. Like so when he casts a healing spell now, when you're standing on the tile, all your exemplars will restore their HP.
I love that Trevor was chilling on that debuff square for the longest time.
I had to balance against the ghost orbs that were in the sky.
Yeah, because you also have to move back and forth to dodge Revenant magic too.
So it looks like we're seeing an instance where both Lucian and Rowena are on the screen at the same time, but in different areas. So how does this work?
So Rowena and Lucian, both their stores are going at the same time. While Rowena's battling monsters on the ground, Lucian's in Welkin trying to convince different people to be his allies, or maybe voting on bills, or sneaking through the castle to obtain information. So he's talking with Magnar right now, who runs the arena.
So what is the arena?
The arena is kind of like a mini game in Fallen Legion Revenants, where you'll battle monsters in proceedingly more challenging battles. And if you complete a sequence of battles, you'll gain some extra items to augment your characters.
Nice. All right, so we have a couple options here and a few people to talk with. I know we're going to see a little bit more than Magnar. If you want to give us a little sneak peek of who else is in this room.
Sure. Yeah. So when you walk up to a character, you see like this ring that goes on them. These are like kind of like Lucian's thoughts about what conversation topics he can talk to characters with, and depending on what you've done in the game, you'll have different options. Like right now, you can only talk to Cirrus, right? But for Magnar, there's an option to play a game with him to get like his precious ring. And if you get this ring from Magnar, you can choose to give it to Cirrus, or you can choose to hold on to it for later on. If you have the ring and give it to Cirrus, Cirrus will be really happy about that. But you can also save the ring, and it might be useful for later on in the game too.
So we have Cirrus obviously on screen here. He's a very interesting looking character. He's I know Lucian's kind of blocking him, but what is he doing?
He's painting. Cirrus is like this kind of eccentric visionary artist who lives in Welkin. He's painting a picture of Ivor, and Lucian's a fan of Cirrus's artwork, so you'll get a chance to tell Cirrus about how you feel about his painting.
Certainly has very vibrant pants.
Yeah.
I'm also concerned that he has paint all over his body and in his hair. Is there any paint on the actual canvas?
Yeah, there's paint on the canvas too. Like he just doesn't paint masterpieces. He is the masterpiece.
He is. I can tell. He's really got a nice purple vibe going on right now. It kind of looks like he's painting Lucian, because Lucian just happens to be standing in front of the portrait. All right, so what are we talking? Oh, it's hideous yet beautiful.
I chose. They were asking what Lucian was saying. You're drawing truth or beauty. No, so based on my previous conversation, Gladiator guy over here was saying that he made a joke at Cirrus's defense, but Cirrus thought it was funny. So I felt like making taking a more creative answer, giving him the more be better than being just like flat out critical or truthful of his. If you told him, "Oh, you're painting portrait of Ivor," he would be like, "Yeah, duh." But you're saying, "Oh, you're painting beauty. It's beautiful, although it's gross." He might be like, "Yeah," and I chose right.
Yep, that's exactly what he's trying to go for.
What's interesting is actually if you chose the other option, other characters may have liked that decision. Maybe Cirrus wouldn't have liked it, but maybe another character would have. So, the characters kind of gossip among themselves too. So your decisions will affect your relationship with more than one character.
They've got like a web of friendship on here. Don't piss off one of them, because you'll piss off all of them.
I like to say that they like off screen when Rowena's battling, that the conversations that they have continue. We just don't see them.
Yeah, life goes on even though we're not part of it. So we have Magnar here. I think we were just talking about how you could try to take his ring.
Yeah.
If Trevor's going to be a little devious here.
Let's see. Let's see if we can best him. Aim for his gypsum ring.
Your first gypsum ring, yeah.
I'm right-handed, so he'd guess it's in my right hand, so I'm gonna go with my left. Yeah!
You chose poorly.
So he guessed correctly, but I could cheat him, or I can honor him. I'm gonna cheat.
Oh boy, I noticed you also have a timer too, so it gives you a little bit more like, oh god, I need to make a decision right now.
He's suspicious, but he can't prove it.
He's really glaring at you there.
He really got in my face.
Well,
and, you know what?
You made him a little uneasy.
Cirrus seemed like he...
A fine thing for a fine man.
Exactly.
Covered in paint.
Art for art.
Get paint on the ring.
I can't, like, super see his feet, but is he also barefoot?
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, he is barefoot.
At least he's wearing pants.
Yeah,
like...
alright. And listen, let's not push the artist too.
Alright, so you handed the ring over to Cirrus here.
Oh, and he crushes it for paint.
What color was it?
Gypsum, which is kind of like with reddish orange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's kind of like a
there's
bright
a lot
orange.
of weird names for colors that I'm unaware of. Well, I guess he'll never really find that ring then, so maybe he'll never figure out if you cheated. Oh, he's excited.
Yeah, Cirrus is
That's
happy
how you
about
make
that.
friends.
Alright, so I see we switched back to Rowena here, going back into more combat. Alright, let's see. Oh!
Oh, okay.
It's the pumpkin!
It's a treasure pumpkin.
I want his chest.
Don't! He's
Whoa,
sleeping!
I have to progress.
What is he holding something?
He's holding a little
Yeah, he's
pillow.
holding his pillow. He's clutching his pillow.
Adorable. It's just
So when you hit the treasure chest, the character who hits it will either get a trick or a treat. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that would have been a buff, like, for your characters. But if you don't get that, sometimes you'll see another pumpkin will jump out of the chest and he'll like kind of taunt you and then run away.
I'm so offended that the other pumpkin got so shocked being waked up and like ran away because he's scared. Terrible, Trevor.
I'm sorry, I do need to progress and he was in the way, so...
So we got a new enemy here. Spencer, if you'd like to tell us a little bit about who this gigantic man is.
Yeah, this shield bearer. So right now he's actually using a shield, so he's protecting the ghost. So one of the key things is if you use a death blow on him, you'll be able to break him, so he won't be in his defensive stance. So like maybe like if you use like one of Alistair's death blows, or if you have Saberhook, yeah, right there you can break him. So now you broke him out of his defensive stance, so you can hit the two ghosts behind you. And the ghosts there are, like we were saying before, they actually target Rowena, so you need to move back and forth to defend yourself against their attacks. You can't just use your exemplars to block them because they're hitting other spirits like Rowena.
Nice. Did it.
Nice job, Trevor.
Alright, I think we're gonna move into another battle here. But just a comment, I've noticed these blue floating orbs around Rowena too.
Oh yeah, so the blue flowing orbs are mono orbs, and every time you hit an enemy, you gain like a little bit of mana. And when you have one mono orb, you can do one death blow or use Rowena's magic.
Nice. And so we also met a couple more people here, which I believe from Blights now?
Yeah, these are the two people from the Blights, and they're a little bit suspicious of Rowena and like what her goals are.
They definitely seem to be like differently dressed than Carla was.
Yes.
She seemed like she was a little more well off, like aristocratic maybe, and these definitely seem like simple countryside.
Yes, I do love the witch hat, sort of.
Yeah,
Looks like a
you
witch
don't
hat
see
to me.
them on men most often.
Yeah, I'm
Most
digging
of the
it.
Ladies, he's bringing it back, and I appreciate it. That's what fashion is.
Bringing it back. So we have another enemy that I don't think we've seen before. He kind of looks like a soldier.
Yeah, so this enemy here is another melee enemy. He's actually like the police officer that we were talking about, or the enemy that's inspired by the police officer we were talking about earlier. And he can do a combination attack, so you want to be careful and be more precise with your blocks because he could hit you multiple times.
Right. So what strategies should Trevor be employing here? Ensure he gets better.
Oh no, he just lost Alistair. Like, well, definitely reviving your character.
Yes,
first,
please
so,
revive.
when you hold, if you lose Exemplar, you can hold down their button to revive them. probably, yeah, moving to avoid the other ghosts from hitting Rowena is a good strategy. Like casting your healing magic and standing on a tile to restore your HP, great strategy. Trying to pool the ghosts together, like using Burning Rage, you can bring both ghosts to one tile, and then you can hit both of them with Zulfikar's lightning magic is another strategy.
So how much does that just decrease your score if you have to revive your allies?
Significantly.
We look at it like a cool range, decent range, you know.
It depends how many times you would need to revive them.
Ooh, Trevor at 2 also.
But
so.
yeah, that's the good strategy too. Like you want to group your enemies together to like kind of maximize how your death blows are going to work. So if you use Burning Rave right now, you'll pull the ghosts closer together, and you can use like right there, you're hitting multiple ghosts, and you can use multiple death blows at the same time too, as long as you have enough mana orbs to do that.
I know we've seen a lot of combat, but I don't think we ever actually talked about how you're using all characters at once. This isn't like your standard JRPG where it's just, one turn at a time, but you get to use everyone.
You gotta use everybody there, and while you're doing that, the enemies are attacking you too.
Yeah. All right. So was that our last battle here? Did you do it, Trevor?
Yeah, I think I did.
Do you think you got a good score?
Let's talk about the decision I'm about to make.
So you're gonna decide where to bring those supplies. Do you want to bring them to the meadows or to the blights?
What did you pick?
I picked the meadows.
The meadows?
Yeah. Just because, the blights sounds a little unpleasant.
You just don't like the suspicious people?
I'd rather just go to a meadow.
You're taking the supplies there, not like you're...
Listen, yeah, I am taking the supplies
there. I guess you're gonna be there for a little bit so you can enjoy the scenery. Well, I guess we'll see how that plays out at some point.
Oh boy, here it
let's...
comes.
That big tooth.
Yeah, those revives.
Hey, decent's okay. I'll take a decent.
Yeah, except then you realize it's the lowest.
Well, let's not take it there. It's decent, and let's leave it at that.
Why is it
decent? It's decent. It's not bad.
Yeah, but what was the ranks? S-A?
S-A... Listen, let's not get into it.
It's a decent word, but I mean, if you attach a grade value to it, just
listen,
passing.
Well, hey, passing is passing. I finished the level, didn't I?
All right.
And you're gonna bring the supplies over to to the people in the meadows, which is a win for them, right?
Yeah. So it's more like it's not about your experience; it's about doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Well, even though there are the other people that also needed it.
Let's not talk about the right thing either. Let's say an experience is an experience.
All right, so I think that kind of wraps up our showcase, our post showcase for Fallen Legion Revenants. I'd like to thank Spencer so much for joining us on this, and also for you and your whole team for creating this game and letting us bring it over. Do you have any last words you'd like to put out to our chat here?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me on the stream, and I want to thank everyone who's worked on Fallen Legion Revenants to make this game. I mean, a game's made by an entire team of people, from programmers to artists to musicians to sound engineers to QA staff and to our amazing voice cast. And definitely thank you to NIS America for helping us bring the game to the world. And thank you to everyone who's watched the stream. And I hope you get a chance to play it when it comes out next year.
Yeah, guys, look forward to it. It is coming out next year. We can also pre-order it on our store.
Yes,
we have lovely limited editions on there. I highly recommend checking that out, our Nisa online store. Well, that's going to do it for us. Thank you once again, Spencer, for joining us. I am Laura here with our off-screen.
I've been Trevor.
So stay tuned for what's coming up next, and thank you guys again for joining us.
Thank you.
Guys.
Bye, guys.